Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon, and today I'm talking about advanced hull-down gameplay. And the reason why I say it's advanced is because we're not using the traditional hill. So there's a Leo 1 on my right that is going to go and peek his turret over that hill. That's what people think when they talk about hull-down gameplay. However, look at the spot where I'm going, and you can see the terrain in front of me is extending almost up to my gun. What that's doing is that is serving to hide my lower hull. People don't think of a situation like this as hull down, but in actuality, I am hull down. I'm in the T-54. This does not take a lot of gun depression to be where I am, and I'm going to bounce in this game, I think it was roughly 5,500 damage worth of shots off of my turret just by sitting in this situation. You can see that my gun barely extends over the hillscape there, and I just bounced a shot. I can shoot them, and they are forced to hit me in the turret. There's another couple that bounce off the turret. So this is just an uncommon situation which a lot of people don't think of as hull down. I go here with mediums such as the Type 59 quite a bit to abuse this little spot. There's also a spot like this on Cliff in the middle section around the plateau, the donut, that's useful to hide your hull while you fire at the enemy and expose only your turret. I sit here for the next several minutes while they bounce shots off my turret, but I think you get the idea. Next up, we're in the 112. This is a Tier 8 premium heavy tank, Chinese, and it's characterized by a very strong upper hull and a very tough turret. However, the lower hull is very weak, and I've just been spotted, and I need to find a way to be protected, yet be effective. And so you can see in front of me is a little depression. I'm going to make my way into that depression. This way, I'm going to be able to hide my hull, fire at my enemies, and be relatively invulnerable. So I overexpose myself a little bit and take damage, but once I get the idea of this situation, so every hill is just a little bit different. Now I've settled into a situation where I can fire and be almost invulnerable to the enemy as long as they don't hit my hatch. So I can peek my turret above and shoot at the two tanks in front of me. I've already bounced a shot from the JT. Yes, there are enemies behind me. There's another shot bounced from the JT. But I'm doing what I can in this limited situation. Another way I can hide my lower hull is this situation where I'm below my opponent. The SU-122-44 is going to have a difficult time shooting my lower hull because it's an auto bounce angle when he's shooting down at it. So the next shot that he fires will be auto bounce. Hull down play is useful for every tank. This is the T-69, and not only is the turret very compact on the tank, you can see that there are a lot of angles on the tank, and there's an extreme slope to the turret. The turret is capable of bouncing more shots than you might realize. An auto bounce angle is 70 degrees, and if you look at that beak around the gun on the T-69, that will definitely bounce quite a few shots you wouldn't expect. In fact, it's this shape of the turret on the T-57 Heavy is why I prefer it over the AMX-50B. That shape of the turret will bounce far more shots than the AMX-50B's turret will, leading to what's a very sturdy tank. On paper, the T-57 Heavy does not have that tough of a turret. In practice, you'd be surprised. It's important to use features of the map to your advantage. Here I'm using the concrete barriers on the right to hide the majority of my hull while exposing that very sleek and angular turret to the enemy, which they bounce off of. We're back in the 112 with the weak lower plate, and I use the feature of the map, this debris on the side of the building, and shove my nose of the tank in there, bouncing a shot from both the JT and the Tortoise. Using the side scrape in this manner, the next shot only damages my rear tracks. The Tortoise is able to land a hatch shot on me, but I've done all I can to protect my tank. And one last look at Ruinberg, because it's just a wonderful example. The E-75 in front of me is on a road. Notice how the road rises and depresses on the sides, on the alleys. And if you look at the tortoise in the distance, you can see that I cannot fire at his hull and my gun barely extends above the rise in the road. That's a great indicator that I am hull down. A lot of people don't think of this as a hull down map, but this is one of the best hull down maps you can find. So in your games, don't head to the biggest hill you can find because you want to go hull down. Look for little dips in the terrain. Look for little pieces of debris. Look for a dead tank. Look for an enemy that's shooting down on you. Do whatever you can. It doesn't take that much. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting.